No, the tree stumps are just the internet now.
Hello and welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, The Empire Strikes Back.
Hey.
We
Ben, how's your watch?
It was inoffensive.
That's a good description.
There was a long enough pause there where I heard him go, "It was," and I thought that's where he was going to leave it.
Yeah, it was.
It also was. Very definitely.
It was. Chris, how was your watch?
It was fine. I kind of forgot I had to watch Star Wars this week, and watched it this morning while trying to drink my morning coffee and, deal with my child before I had to go to work.
Oh no, that morning isn't gonna work as well anymore, huh?
Oh yeah, I used to watch the movies during the morning, but yesterday, Wednesday I was supposed to watch because I was off on Wednesday, and my wife and I were like, yeah, we'll watch Empire because she watched New Hope with me, last week because she's just home for 12 weeks, and we're sitting here last night in the living room, and she was like, hey, weren't you supposed to watch Star Wars?
Hey.
I was like, oh fuck, you're right, I was supposed to watch Star Wars.
A friend of the show, Danny, who keeps you honest a lot.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, what are you talking?
Yes, but also, this is not the first time in the podcast history where she was like, don't you need to watch Star Wars when you forgot about Star Wars?
My wife is my moral compass in all situations. Jay,
How was your watch? Yeah.
Oh, it was. It was a watch. It was a watch of Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Ben is drinking out of a Star Wars cup.
Can we play a fun game? Ben, don't tell us what you're drinking. I just noticed Ben's drinking what looks like a black liquid out of a Star Wars mug.
Black tea.
Now, Ben, we know, doesn't drink coffee. We know Ben doesn't drink. You don't drink much like soda, do you?
I used to, but I've very effectively cut that out of my diet.
So what do we think is the mystery black liquid in Ben's mug right now?
Black tea.
You think it's just tea?
Ben has like a walk-in closet, which is, as a joke, friend of the show, Redacted's room, in his kitchen, and there's just a lot of different kinds of tea. So I would assume it's one of the teas, because it was lovely to be able to peruse while I stayed at his house a while ago.
He was also going to be my guess, and now I just feel like this happened way too quick. You have insider information.
Yeah, I do. But there is no coffee maker in the house, which
there actually
is the only negative of the house. Yes.
My roommate got a recently, so
everything is fantastic about the U home, except
mean,
that fact that has been made right now.
You mean vague coffee pod system machine?
Yeah.
But
it is grape juice.
Oh, we were both.
Oh shit! Yeah, I should have guessed.
I mean, tea was a very good guess because that's gonna be what I'm drinking tomorrow morning to keep me awake.
And I know you don't really touch the Earl Grey unless it's the middle of the night.
Earl Grey's a midday kind of tea.
This is what we've become as a podcast. We're now discussing
now
Earl Grey tea on the podcast.
Discussing Ben's tea snobbery.
Listen, give it 20 years, we'll get there.
Welcome to, borrow a term from my UK friends. Welcome to Three Pensioners Discuss Tea every week.
Give it 20 years. That's where we'll be at. We'll sit down and just be like, do you want to talk about Star Wars? No. All right. What are you drinking? Earl Grey tea, hot.
I actually, this morning, watching this, in between bouts of trying to figure out why my child was crying and having to go refill my cup of coffee that I did not touch until it became cold.
Oh, no.
Well, I know we give Han Solo a lot of shit in this movie. Rightfully so. The beginning part of this movie, hilariously, though, I don't know why it's never really hit me this way, and we may have talked about this before, Han Solo is the only person in that Rebel base that gives a single fuck that Luke Skywalker is not back.
Oh, yeah.
This is an interesting point because I actually had an opposite point in my notes. I don't know what it was about this watch, but I found it really funny that Han was doing like fun banter with Rogue 2 while Luke was unconscious in the inside of a fucking Tauntaun. Like, yay, glad you finally got here. It's like, oh yeah, fun banter. Luke's like dead.
Well, I mean, at that point, he's making light of the situation. He's happy to see them. I would say
at that point, I feel like he might just be. At that point, he might just be coping. He's like, okay.
It sounds like sarcasm. It does kind of sound like sarcasm. No, yeah, Han is an absolute misogynist, but he is also looking out for his buddy Luke.
Yeah, no, I was like, it hit me for some reason extra today, like, that, like, the rebels are just like, yeah, no, he's gone, fuck it, we have to close the door, fuck him. Han's like, no, I'm going out there, what are you talking about?
Han's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there. It's like, it's past dark. He's like,
I'm aware of that. I joined up with the rebels because I noticed things.
Like, nobody gives a shit, and Han could just be like, you realize this is the guy who just, like, blew up the giant space station that was going to kill everyone. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah, across the room, there's the guy that was in the middle of the room on Yavin 4, just like, yeah, the farmer who said that his crazy old friend from the desert was going to help him take out the Death Star. It's like, it worked for him, Frank.
Can I actually posit a theory here, and one that, is really just a me thing I think is very funny right now? My theory on that is the rebels have just gotten so jaded with people dying at this point, and the rebels almost at this point, it's like, look, Rogue One literally just happened. Like, oh, okay, so the rebels are like, this is how it works then, apparently, a group of heroes rise up, they do something really important, and then they just all fucking die. That's how this works. Yeah, Luke's out there, of course, he's going to die in the snow. That makes sense. He blew up the Death Star.
Yeah.
No, they're just like, yeah, that makes sense. The prophecy is fulfilled.
With great glory comes an inglorious death.
They're just so apathetic anymore. They're like, hey, he served his purpose. Like,
yeah, exactly.
My God.
We have two
others, or we have 4 others, there's that Wookiee and those other 2, that helped him. Those 2 will, they'll finish the rest of it.
Luke? Duke just joined. He hasn't done anything heroic yet. I'm trying here.
This went way darker than I expected, way quicker than I expected.
Right off the bat, we're like not even 10 minutes in yet. And anyone else have any interesting revelations for Empire this week?
I feel the need to apologize to the audience.
Oh?
Why?
One, we talked about feet again, a lot of feet. Yoda's feet. We talked about Yoda's feet for like a solid 5 minutes, and that has been a weird thing about this rotation.
I forgot you were listening to our commentary track while watching.
Yeah.
We did talk about feet a lot on that episode.
Yeah, we did. And then we did in episode 1 and episode 2 as well. This has been a horny rotation to listen back to. Well, it's weird. It's very weird.
Did we say that at one point? Like, we've gone through every other type of rotation. We were bound to get to horny rotation sooner rather than later.
I don't think we've said that before, but we're definitely there.
I mean, that's how I start off every rotation.
And now for something completely different.
So Luke fucked that wampa up.
So, yeah.
Luke fucked that wampa up.
Destroyed it.
That wampa, like, as a kid, I remember being, like, kind of scary. It was like, oh, the big snow monster, and now, like, it's like that thing comes at him, and Luke fucking cuts an arm off, and then the wampa's like, nope, sorry, man.
It is, like, it to an extent, it is, like, Obi-Wan leaving Anakin to burn to death on the side of the lava stream, because it's like, there's no way the wampa's recovering from that. That wampa is super dead. Super duper dead.
I mean, why wouldn't it recover from that, though?
It will bleed to death 1,000,000%.
Lightsabers are supposed to cauterize the wound.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of New Hope rules because we just watched A New Hope and it didn't make sense because it didn't work on the Aqualad.
Well,
I don't want to hear it. You've told me already. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the bullshit canon that they made up later to excuse the mistake.
Isn't there blood when he cuts the wampa's arm off, too, though?
That's the other thing, yeah.
I don't think so. There's blood on the wampa's mouth because he's eating like the raw, like.
I'm thinking, yeah.
But the wampa does actually survive.
Do we know this? Does a one-armed wampa show up somewhere else in canon?
At least in Legends, the wampa became the head of a band of other wampas.
Neat.
and organize them into a group of capable of attacking
This is
hunters who arrived.
You're telling me one-armed wampa unionized the other wampas?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Hey, Star Wars. I just wanted to take a moment here to talk directly to you. This is just like a world building 101 tip. I know you guys just realized that anybody would buy your shit no matter what you put out, but yeah, just as a piece of advice, you don't have to follow up on everything the movie touches.
Yeah, you
It's
do.
not necessary.
Yes, it is.
I didn't need to know about this wampa's future. I
like the Union of Wampas. I like it. I don't know.
The Wampa Union.
I'm cool with this canon.
I want you to think about it from my perspective. Ben, where does this information come from?
I just want an edit of a group of Wampas beating the shit out of Jeff Bezos in an Amazon warehouse.
Don't make me do this.
Let me get back to the
Get back to your homepage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Son of a bitch.
All you have to do is hit home, Ben.
The novel Darksaber.
So, that's Legends.
J. Anderson.
Yeah, that's Legends.
I said this was Legends.
That sounds like some early Legends bullshit, yeah. What was the name of the author?
Kevin J. Anderson.
Oh, I like a lot of his stuff.
I do too. But Kevin J. Anderson, as a big fan of yours, nerd.
Why does this sound vaguely familiar now? Did I read this book?
Yeah, Darksaber is a pretty decently well-received book. It's a Legends book.
Oh yeah, I've 100% read this book.
A lot of the early Legends, Legends novels were really, really good.
Well, no, I would not.
Some of them were
that.
really, really good. They
were
very great or absolutely the worst.
A lot of the early, when anybody says a lot of the early Legends books were very, very good, what they mean is the Thrawn trilogy. And like 7 other books were very, very good, and everything else, no,
you kind of forget about. They just didn't happen.
Can we
Sure.
I'm pretty. Can we just be for a second? Can we? I don't know what I've just agreed to with Ben. Just okay. Can we just take a minute to like imagine what an Osha examination of the bridge or any other part of a Star Destroyer must be like?
I mean, anything in Star Wars. Just you can take that and apply that to anything in Star Wars. I mean, like the shipyards, are shown in quite a few mediums. I mean, God, they're just nothing but OSHA violations.
Especially in what's that? Not new game, but newer. Yeah, Fallen Order.
Yeah, the beginning of Fallen Order when you're running through the shipyards, and that's an OSHA violation.
Is that, sir? Is that an open CIS ship with no railings anywhere near it and a sheer what does that look like? A 600-foot drop? Is that a sheer 600-foot drop and no railings?
Sir, why is that said 600-foot drop in the middle of one walkway and the walkway continues on the other side and there's just like a big yellow bar your employees are supposed to jump at?
Is that a kid in a parka running across a wall right now, and he's climbing that loose wiring? That's a violation for sure.
What do you mean he lives here? We got some which side are you on shit going on here. All right, I'll mark that down.
Where there's like a marketplace and like people living in the walls up there, like there's like.
Sir, are you attempting to tell me that all of your workers live inside of a village, a la mining village? Is that what you're telling me right now? Okay. Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about me coming back around here anymore. I don't think you have to worry about anything ever again.
Can this be one of our new shows like that we pitch? One of our new like adult animated series for Disney Plus? It's just like an OSHA guy going around the Star Wars universe.
What's the name of the Marvel comic series?
Damage Control.
It's Damage Control.
Yeah.
We're doing Damage Control right now. We're literally doing Damage Control right now. God, I would really love to.
Isn't that like the organization that cleans up after all the big global catastrophes?
I think They did do damage control kinda in the MCU, didn't they? For
Spider-Man.
Homecoming? Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie.
They were supposed to be doing a TV show, and luckily that didn't happen because it
Well,
was
I mean,
the same umbrella as like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and
although,
all that shit,
although damage control just being the office around a bunch would have been very good.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You know, we do this show, it's basically just The Office.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, yeah.
Or it's just, worst case scenario, it's just Roseanne.
You know, the finale is, the show picks up right after the destruction of the first Death Star. And then, you know, the finale is, you know, they're sitting around the office, they get a call, they're like, sir, they made another Death Star.
They made another one.
We have to go inspect.
I like that this already has like a Parks and Rec feel to it.
Oh my god,
this
wait.
is very Parks and Rec.
That's actually why Palpatine is in such a hurry to get everything completed, because
Lord
he
Vader.
knows they're going to be showing up soon. He's like, we got to get this up to spec.
Lord Vader.
This up to this.
We need a name of this damage control group.
We do.
Lord Vader, Osha is coming through. You don't fuck with Osha. They have
Spacia?
powers the dark
Is it
side of
just-
the Force cannot.
Is it just Spacia? FORSHA?
Spacia.
FORSHA's kind of good.
Porsche.
You just steal the Forza logo and it's Forza.
I was going to say, that feels...
Lord Vader, I don't know how FORSHA survived the fall of the Republic, but they've been a major thorn in my ass. I'm telling you, it's harder to get FORSHA off our asses than it was to kill all of the Jedi and all of the Separatists, one of which I controlled.
They're like another level of ultra secret organization that like even Palpatine can't figure out where they come from or how they get there, but they always show up at the worst possible time.
Lord Vader, let me put it to you like this. I was able to find the most reclusive group of Imperial individuals, the Chiss on the outside of Republic space, who does not want to interact with anyone at all, and set up a treaty and bring one into my empire. I can't figure out who runs FORSHA. All I know is that they somehow has the ability to shut fucking me down, and I'm the emperor of the goddamn galaxy, Lord Vader.
They get to Bespin, and, you know, Han gets off the ship, and Lando's like, hey, it's good to see you. It's a good thing you didn't come yesterday. We had a FORSHA inspection, you know?
It's the original version of Empire Strikes Back, and they're just walking around, and it's like, so is there like a single window in here anywhere at all?
Well, now I'm just imagining the whole scene where they're like getting the carbon chamber prepared. And there's just a dude there with a clipboard and a hard hat, a white hard hat that's like so clean you could like fucking see yourself. And he's like, okay, that looks good.
That looks good.
You really need more railings in here. What's with you people and railings?
Someone could fall right into this carbonite chamber.
An individual could fall right into this carbonite chamber, and it would pretty much immediately activate it. This is a little bit of a. Did you put a hair trigger on this thing, as if someone's going to fall into? Listen, I know you want to expedite the process, but
he's in a room with the clipboard, and he's like going through, and he's like, "Now, Mr. Calrissian, you say this is mining equipment? Yeah. Okay, why is there a bed of some sort, like a raised platform that comes in? What are you using this piece of machinery for, Mr. Calrissian? This does not look up to standards."
Mr. Calrissian, you know that your recreational seating has to be outside of the normal working area.
Mr. Calrissian, there's hair on this. It smells like singed flesh.
Is this a prison? Do you have a prison on your base here, Mr. Calrissian? Why exactly do you have a prison on your factory ship?
So Mr. Calrissian, I had a protocol droid with me when I arrived, and it's gone missing.
I would hope that you would help me with this situation. Mr. Calrissian, are you saying that all of your workers work exactly here inside of your factory?
I have a bit to riff off of this with.
Oh, no.
The health inspector shows up right before Vader's speech.
That's our spin-off. That's our oh god, what's the there's a firefighter and emergency response thing on TV that spawned like 3 different shows from it. That's just this. We're just gonna keep spawning new shows from it.
Well, I mean, I feel like health inspector could fall under the umbrella of this, organization. It's like, they do safety inspections, health inspections, they're basically the galactic fire marshal as well,
So you're saying the bottom of this bomber does not make contact with the outside space because you don't have a laser field indicator in order to make it clear that you're not, going to fall out. My concern here is that without a proper regulation Imperial, and I know that's a hard thing for you to hear right now, but also FORSHA really does not, if we are talking about worker safety, if somebody falls through this, which by the way, you don't really have a ladder that properly leads down here with guardrails. So if somebody falls from up there, which is a narrow area and there's no door to separate, and cracks their back off of this, best case scenario, or worst case scenario, they go through this non-regulation laser separation area with no clear designation of what is outside in the vacuum of space and the inside of the bomber area, you're going to be sued. And do you really want to be sued when you're on the verge of defeat by the Forced Order?
Now, Mr. Grievous, what pray tell possessed you to install a ray shield in 4 different parts of every hallway on your ship? You realize that you need like 2-person ignition to activate one of these, right? You have one of those, right? You have a license to operate these, do you not?
Mr. Grievous, you know that standard regulation windows on a serving Star Cruiser is 12 inches, correct? This window right here, I'm pretty sure if you threw something, I don't know, like a metal rod at this, it would
Some
crack.
Sort of pole arm.
Pole arm crap. Energized weapon.
Points
maybe.
at one of the guards. You're like, like one of those things. One of those things goes awry and
hits that.
All
you
out into the vacuum of space.
And for whatever... Hold on, General Grievous, could you step aside with me right now? I'm noticing that you have an exposed heart right there. Are you aware that you should not be working? Legally, you should not be working right now. You should be off at home getting workers' comp right now.
Legally, to protect the company, we cannot have you here with your exposed heart. You also sound like you're breathing a little hard. Everything all right?
At the very least, you should be wearing a mask right now. And definitely staying at least 10 feet away from anything that breathes.
Yeah, we can't
looking
have
around
these...
the room of Grievous's guards that are all droids. He's like, you know what?
You're
probably good.
The one Nemoidian sitting at the bridge, like, oh.
This is a good show. It's not even a good show. It's a good skit show. It's it's a good skit show. It's a good skit show where it just cuts between.
Yeah.
Mr. The Emperor Palpatine,
Mr.
the second, whatever you want me to call you now. You see,
the second. What do you mean the second? I'm the only Palpatine.
I like this whole electric throne room vibe you got going, but there is a large pit over in that corner.
It would really suggest some safety nets of some sort.
Definitely that skylight you have needs some safety rails. Do you have any lightning rods you can install on this structure?
Now, Mr. the Emperor Palpatine, I've collected, across the galaxy, many of the concerns that I have for your many outfits, government facilities, warships, etc., and the one thing that I feel that I really, really must stress to you before we come in here and shut this whole thing down, which we will. You might be the Emperor of the Galaxy, but we're FORSHA and we can shut anything down.
We're FORSHA.
I would really suggest 1, railings, lots of railings, and 2, just nets. There's a way to create nets. There's this technology that the Republic had where you would just activate ray shields. And you can do that. You can set it so that if someone falls into a thing, on Bespin they have this thing where if somebody falls, a air column will collect so that they come down. Now, Bespin is already being shut down as we speak, but that's an entirely different matter. Mr. the Emperor Palpatine, you are SOL at the moment, and we need you to work with us. This is your final warning.
Jesus Christ.
This is a good show. I like this show. This is a fun show.
I'm so glad we fell down this rabbit hole today. It's just... I had a long-ass day today, and this is just what I need.
Mr.
Every
Boss.
once in a while, audience, every once in a while, you just got to accept that we're going to have an episode where it's just this. We need one for us sometimes.
Now,
We had one for us last week.
Mr. the Hutt.
Mr. the Hutt.
Mr. the Hutt.
I understand sporting events are very important to you, but
Oh
we
my God,
really
this is
need
like
some
a
safety
season.
regulations
Pod racing is a season.
on these
Pod
pod
racing is a
races.
fucking season.
Like, are you aware? They're
You're
like in the
aware Mr. Quadranero is prosecuting.
So also, do we know an age on that child that's driving that pod race?
Between you and me, Mr. the Hutt, I have heard that child is a slave. Are you using slave labor on this pod racing ring? Is that where we're at?
Labor. Mr. the Hutt, I don't know if you've heard, but the Wampas on Hoth are organizing.
They're organizing specifically against this. And, we will come all ye workers on your ass if you don't take care of that particular issue right away. Now, on a different subject, general safety. We've heard that there's some people on the outside of your building that you have fully encouraged firing rifles at the pod racers. And this is something that you're paying them for to add extra incentive. And just a question, what the literal hell do you think you're doing? And do you think that you are exempt from us shutting your ass down?
The pod race really is just a wealth of content for this. Just
Oh,
Mr. the Hutt, are you
That's
aware?
gonna be a whole season and a half.
Where one of your racers, Sebulba, has several pending felony assault cases.
Two of these are against one child? Excuse me, sir.
I'm looking at conspiracy, homicide conspiracy here as well. What's this whole operation?
Also, one of your workers is currently out there in the public, a clear separatist traitor, and I'm sorry, you still do. I know out here you think you don't come down to Republic regulations, but you do in fact come down to Republic regulations, and we are those Republic regulations.
But the thing is, they have to come to the Republic, and they're the Order.
Yeah,
Like,
they can't be
above
involved in wars. Yeah.
I really want just the intro to the pod racing episode. Clearly this is all taking part in this is taking place in post Revenge of the Sith era Star Wars. The episode starts and it's just the guy sitting at his desk and he picks up the phone. It's like, yes, can I help you? It's just a voice on the phone. He's like, I'd like to make an anonymous report on the safe working conditions.
Vader said
That is the last clip of the season 1 or 2 finale. That's the last thing you hear, and it cuts the credits.
This is slightly off the FORSHA topic, but that Vader sent out an anonymous tip to get Watto arrested right after he became Vader, right?
Oh, yeah.
That guy, yeah.
I mean, do we have I haven't actually fully read the Vader comics. I've read bits and pieces here and there. Did Vader ever just go kill Watto? I wouldn't be surprised if that's
heavily
in canon.
It's in
Oh,
all.
are we moving away from FORSHA for real? I'm very sad about that. I
mean, yeah. I know Ben brought up it made me think that makes I wouldn't be surprised if they put in canon at this point because if there's one person that you could be justified in understanding, all right, yeah, I get it, man, that's cool, go kill that guy.
I don't know why, but I feel like I missed you for a few weeks, Chris, and it felt like I don't know, maybe I. It's like we're playing off each other again in a very specific, stupid ass way that I appreciate.
This is the one thing you and I are good at is fucking riffing off of each other.
We are a hazard to the rest of the planet when we start riffing.
Yeah.
Lord Vader.
I don't have many marketable skills, but I can riff very well with Jay and Ben. That's pretty much anyone in our D&D group,
That's what 100 hours of watching Star Wars every week forever will do to you.
God.
Coming up on 100. I mean, it's more than 100, but as far as mainline episodes, it's like, well, episode 1, rotation 11 is our 100th mainline episode.
Whoa.
We're close.
Whoa.
We're close.
I'm trying to do some homework to get an actual like concrete what if Vader actually killed Watto. And our good friend, the Google tab, people always ask.
Well, I would really prefer if you stop referring to Google as our good friend.
I'm referring to the people always ask tab of Google, not Google themselves.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite parts of the internet.
The third one is
we've gotten some
Watto...
good material for the show.
Well, the fourth one is Watto a Hutt?
What?
Is Watto a Hutt?
I mean, yeah, that sure looks like a Hutt to me.
And the third one is Watto a Sith Lord?
A Sith Lord?
That's
Jesus
really good,
Christ.
though.
And
Yeah.
The Darth Jar Jar theory is overrated. I'm going all in
Overrated
on
is
the Darth
an
Watto.
understatement.
I'm going all in on Darth Watto.
Is one of them? Is one of those questions? Is Watto a hurtful anti-Semitic stereotype?
No.
Should be.
He was. I'm not saying he wasn't.
Republic credits don't work here. Only me choking you out with the pure essence of the Force. Why is my Watto just Palpatine? This is a problem. Yeah, I just went Palpatine. I don't. Maybe it's because I don't want to commit to Watto's accent.
Lord Vader. I was every voice in your head,
including Watto.
Watto was also a failed clone.
Oh my god!
Have you ever seen the movie The Fly?
Every character we cannot completely confirm the origins of is now a failed clone of Palpatine's.
Yeah. Well, when I went to go into the cloning beam for Watto, a fly flew in, and that's how we got Watto. Shit will fuck you up for life, Lord Vader. I hate The Fly. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It just horrifies me.
Well,
it's
the body horror. That's kind of the point. I haven't seen that movie in ages. I saw it once when I was a kid, and I haven't seen it since for obvious reasons.
I haven't seen it since I was a teenager. Also, a secondary apology. I'd like to apologize on behalf of myself and Ben for Han Solo. Not only was it bad the first time, it was definitely unforgivable the second time. You expect better out of us, and we need to do better.
Do they expect better out of us?
No idea what we're talking about. I'm going to be completely honest.
Solo.
No, I heard you. I have no idea what
we made. Solo. We hand Solo. Neither of you remember this, huh?
I remember it being a thing. I don't remember anything other than the phrase hand.
Did you think I was making a legitimate apology?
No, I'm just confused at what's happening.
Han Solo was a bad joke, and we need to apologize for it because we not only made it once but twice.
I will not.
I will apologize for you.
No, you will not.
I will apologize for you. Stars.
I unapologetically put put whatever garbage I put out into the world.
Look, when the recording starts rolling, I apologize for nothing.
There is no shame past hitting the record button.
I have to turn that part of my brain off to do this show, all right? There's no room for shame here.
Well, speaking of things that are happening outside of this podcast, one of my favorite things that has come in the last couple of weeks is breaking news 6 weeks ago in the past. Owen Lars has become a huge talking point in the Star Wars community. And I don't give a fuck about that because, yeah, he's a bad dad. I don't care. Stop making excuses for him. He's a bad dad. Also, he's also become a huge meme. And I think this meme is the funniest fucking thing.
Oh my god,
where
those memes you were sending.
Someone will say something and then Owen Lars will just fucking bat them down.
Yeah.
He'll just show up with a whataboutism and just like shame them.
The natural conclusion of this meme is him just showing up with in Coyote Mundi's seat and just like, what about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
It's pretty, I've said, I think I defended Owen Lars a couple of times on this show. Like, I don't necessarily think he was a bad father to Luke, it's pretty bad though that the bar in Star Wars for a lot of characters is just so low that it's like, well, I don't think he used slaves to work the farm, so that
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a good sign of fatherhood when your kid says, I want to leave after 18, and you're like, no, I need you to keep working here for at least another year.
Well, I also wouldn't say he didn't use slaves, because he legit had a fleet of droids.
Yeah, he also bought droid
but then
slaves
you got to use that metric to judge literally every other character in the Star Wars universe, because nobody views droid people, so...
Yeah.
But no, see, I
mean, Anakin owns slaves in that case.
I don't think. I really feel
I broke Ben's brain with that comparison.
No,
my brain just shut down.
I really feel like Owen wanting to keep Luke on was really just trying to keep him from going to the academy.
You know what? When you bring it up that way, you're right. It was him trying to keep him away from that old bastard Obi-Wan Kenobi. Damn sexy bastard.
Goddamn sexy bastard.
There's been a lot of comments about the attractiveness of Ewan McGregor in the last couple of weeks on this podcast. I'm sticking by it.
I thought we were talking about Sir Alec Guinness. I thought that was the Sir Alec Guinness compliment we're legally obligated to
Not
give.
my type so much.
Yeah, yes, he is, Jay.
Yes, he is. Do you want to go back to Hellcourt?
Legally.
You want to go back to Hellcourt?
Alec Guinness is the sexiest man ever to live. I don't want to go back to Hellcourt.
That's what he was talking about when he said, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Oh my god.
He's talking about litigation.
Vader, I'm legally required to tell you.
Vader, you're coming after you stab me with that lightsaber, you're coming with me to Hellcourt. I want you to know that.
Darth, as soon as you strike me down, the call has already been placed to FORSHA.
I saw a post on Tumblr this week that was just somebody saying Obi-Wan calling Darth Vader Darth and nothing but in A New Hope is such a baller move, and I'm like, people are catching up to where our fucking bullshit brains are.
It's one of my favorite things.
That has become really funny, is seeing a very us observation or joke in the wild.
Yeah, it's weird. It's super weird. Can you imagine if we're just riffing? This is a riffing episode.
This is a riff episode.
If Obi-Wan lived and if Vader was actually, redeemed or whatever the fuck that means, but Obi-Wan is just grumpy towards Vader all the time, so no matter what happens, it's like, would you pass the salad dressing, Darth?
He just uses Darth out of spite.
Obi-Wan, please don't call me. Obi-Wan, please don't call me that anymore. I lived on a desert planet for 2 decades, Darth. Go fuck yourself.
It's nice to see your children, Darth.
Now, son, I need you to be careful with us at this bar. Obi-Wan is sort of a master of getting people drunk on shots. Only a master from your perspective, Darth.
At least one of us was a master, Darth.
Oh, that's your father. Always the Padawan, never the master.
Your father.
He got so angry. Oh my god.
Do you think we could do like a dream sequence episode of Death After Darth that's just this? Do you think we could somehow pull that off? Like Kylo Ren is having like a fever nightmare, and it's this, or a fever dream, and he wakes up and he looks up and he points at his Leia and goes, "You were there." And he points at Han and goes, "You were there." And he looks to the side and goes, "You were there." And Vader's helmet is sticking inside of a thing of ash. It's just like, oh shit.
It's just Kylo Ren, who at this point is still so obsessed with Vader. He has this like fever dream of Vader in like a sweater, just like cup of coffee, like just classic dad, like dad jokes and everything. And end of the episode, just Kylo waking up and like it's ways. He's like talking to Hux. He's like, I had a dream. It's like, what was it a nightmare of the Force? No, my grandfather sucked. He was horrible. Just sucked.
I just had an epiphany.
What?
So end of Rise of Skywalker, Kylo Ren dissolves into Force ghostness. He doesn't know what Anakin looks like.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was actually going to follow up with that in a different direction.
I'm imagining him rolling up to like the Council of Force Ghosts and be like, who the fuck is this guy? And then the realization.
I was going in a different direction. Why did Anakin never appear as a Force Ghost to Kylo Ren? Like, what reason would...
I've asked that a couple of times.
Yeah,
I don't think we have on this podcast, though.
I know a lot of people in the community were just like, there were so many opportunities for Anakin to show up at the end.
Hold on. I don't mean in the movies. I mean when he was training to be a Jedi. Like, there's literally no reason why he never appeared to him when he was growing up.
In general, I mean, it's like at this point, we know that Anakin shows up at the end of Return of the Jedi. And is that just the last time he appears as a Force Ghost ever? Because you never hear, and like it's.
Well, I mean, I guess
I don't remember a time of Anakin
appearing
as a Force Ghost.
Is it like Family Guy Spider-Man rules? Everybody gets one Force Ghost appearance?
Well, it's like I don't even remember in Legends a time where Anakin would appear as a Force Ghost, and it's like at that point, I'm pretty sure the others had appeared. Like I think I remember Force Ghost Obi-Wan popping up.
Force Ghost Obi-Wan definitely shows up from time to time.
I think Anakin appears in the Legacy. No, not Legacy. The Darth Crate books. But even at that point, it's like, dude, what about the last 140 fucking years? Where were you?
Well, that's like, I mean, everyone was kind of like theorizing like he might pop up. Like that would have been a much better use of him over Han in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I'm just reflecting
Han
specifically
was more...
like Obi-Wan can just show up and tell like fucking Luke that, hey, that's your sister. But like Anakin can't show up and just be like, you can't trust that Snoke motherfucker. Like, you just can't do that.
Yeah, like that. It really does suck because that would have been a
this motherfucker. Like, I'm trying to make a point of it being in teenage years. Sorry, because I didn't mean to interrupt you. But this guy was so desperate as a teenager to speak to his grandfather that as a 27-year-old man or whatever the fuck, he's like bent over the helmet, just like, please talk to me, please talk to me, please talk to me.
That's the thing. Like, you would think at some point, like when Snoke is first like trying to corrupt Kylo, like Anakin would have showed up, like, hey man, I did this. Don't do this. What are you doing?
Especially since it's implied that he's using Anakin for that anyway. Because like he sits in front of the Vader thing, and it's like he's like, I'm losing myself again. Whatever the fuck, show me. The light's pulling to me. Keep me there. Because like that could be like Palpatine, all the voices in your head shit, right? Like, well, that means that Palpatine is invoking Vader to keep Kylo and Ren in Kylo in check. So where the fuck is Anakin?
Maybe it's the fact that there is that little bit of dark is maybe what's preventing him from interacting with the ghosts. It's like the only
say that. I mean,
it's like the only thing I could jump to that would make any
Legends,
sense.
Between Empire and Return of the Jedi, Luke had a little bit of a dip into the dark side. Like a
little bit.
That would have, meant Obi-Wan wouldn't have been able to appear to him, and
and it's commonly assumed that that Yoda was not a fallen Jedi, but at some point dark at some time in his life.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a blanket assumption for a long time, and it's purely built off of some of the old Clone Wars novels, assuming that the reason why he could just put out the lightning was that he was once able to use Force lightning, and it was just sort of implied in a couple of books here and there. I don't know but I don't think Light Dark Side appeals, except in 5-time genocide maker, like Anakin Skywalker is.
That's all right. He's good now.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's one of the things that bugs the shit out of me is just like inconsistent usage of things. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Well, and the Force Ghosts are really a Pandora's box when it comes to that, because it's like we've already pointed out, there's so many instances where they could have just been like, "Hey, don't do the evil thing," and the person will be like, "Oh, you're right."
Like, why does it take until Last Jedi for Yoda to appear to Luke? Why doesn't Yoda appear to him? Why doesn't Obi-Wan appear? Why doesn't Anakin appear to Luke? You know, like.
I think the Last Jedi recording that we did kind of proves that I'm not very invested in like making sense of the Force Ghosts. But this is one instance where it's like I can't see a situation where it would matter for him not to appear. Like I can't see how that would get in the way of the grand design or whatever the fuck.
We got too close to having a serious discussion about Star Wars here.
We had to rebound from FORSHA somehow.
FORSHA
was so good though.
FORSHA. I have a way to send us home.
I'm already home.
Well, that's the thing. I need you to use your home page right now, Ben. And I need you to tell me what the fuck is going on with that weird worm. Because this was information that was presented to me rapid fire in Empire Strikes Back, and I know nothing about it.
I can't recall his name currently, but yeah, was it Exogorth? That's what they're called, right? Yeah. CO, that's it.
CO, SY-O.
What? Why is he named like a droid?
You got to. I know I alluded to it a little bit. Like you got to find in that article.
Not O as in zero, O as in the letter.
You got to. You got to find the part. I think it's in Legends because I don't think there's much canon information about this thing, but it talks about like the weird society that lives inside of it of things that it's eaten, and that sounds super fascinating.
Why do I feel like I'm about to get Jedi masturbated? Why do I feel like Master Soon Bates is at the end of this road?
I don't want canon. I want Legends. Is he not named the same in Legends?
I thought he was.
Like I said, I've never heard of this, so it could just be canon.
No, I gotta go to fucking Wikipedia. Sorry. Going to Wikipedia will do me no good here.
Yeah. I am not opening a page. I am relying on you. I am using a notepad from 1965 to write down title pitches for the episodes for the next while, and I feel like that is very emblematic of the podcast. I know.
How'd you find it?
What'd you find?
The notorious Mugrai pirate something the Elder seeded the Hoth asteroid field with space slugs in order to protect his hidden smuggler base.
It's badass.
That is the most batshit insane plan I've ever seen.
I'm not understanding. What?
Oh no, hey, I was wrong. It's not on CO's page, it's on the Exogorth page.
Okay, that's where I'm at right now. That's where I figured I'd find it.
It's on canon, actually.
Okay.
In Society and Culture.
Yeah, basically the reason that space slug specifically is there because some 100 years ago, some pirate lord seeded that asteroid belt with space slugs.
Incredible.
Just to protect his smuggling ring.
That's incredible.
This is canon, you said?
This is Legends.
Wait, hold on. I feel like this is Kotar, not games, but comic plot point. Isn't this a Kotar comic plot point?
Remember.
I don't remember specifically, but there was a plot point in those comics. Oh god, I can't remember any of the characters' names, which is a huge fucking hampering to this right now. Hold on, because there was like a I don't know.
You are 100% right. Knights of the Old Republic 18 was where they were first identified as Exogorths. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Days of Hate, the Old Republic Fatal Alliance, the Old Republic Fatal Alliance. Audiobook.
I can't. I have all this useless fucking information in the back of my head.
When that happens.
I don't love it. I don't.
That was me with CO, just fucking knowing that the one day. I was like, I don't know why I know that.
I don't like that I have this information in the back of my head somehow. I just saw there's a 2-page splash page, and if you want me to remember something, make it a comic because I will always remember it.
Ben, will you read the society and culture part though for canon? Because I feel like Jay will find that very interesting.
Canon, because that was the original reason we were here.
Yeah.
All that information, all that space in my head that
it
could
is
be used for
one
something else.
Jesus Christ, this one picture.
Does it invoke the boss Mass Effect?
It sounds more like fear.
I don't know if you want me to answer that question. There's an Exogorth just like.
Whoa! What do you mean? I want you actually now very much.
There's an Exogorth fucking devouring a Star Destroyer.
Ben.
Exogorths were a patient and relatively peaceful species that prided themselves on their ability to have their bodies become stable ecosystems that were home to countless species. Oh my god, that peacefully coexisted. Exogorths with incredibly diverse ecosystems in their bodies were considered highly respectable.
So they're like many organisms living together.
They basically eat things and
That's
then become a planet or something. You know, like they have like cultures that like live within their bodies.
That's biologically like sound.
Yeah.
While those with limited life forms such as CO were looked down upon, even by their parents for only being able to host Minox. I feel bad.
That just makes me sad.
I was gonna say, Chris,
that's
this
why
just made me
CO was
sad.
trying to eat the crew of the Millennium Falcon. He saw them and he was like, "Oh, cool! I want you to live in there." You know. More
okay, maybe this isn't useless canon.
They were trying to fly out, and he was like, "No, wait."
Well, there was oh god, there's like somewhere in this page or in CO's. There's like
CO was billions of years old itself. And it was considered young by others of its kind.
I don't know if it's on CO's page. There was flavor text somewhere that basically said like, it's like the quote on CO's page, you know, how unsorrowed I will be to see you, my friends, one day soon on the longer path. That was like narration after they left, I think.
Yeah, CO's thoughts on its departed visitors.
Yeah.
Is this like from the original trilogy novels? Not the ones Ben read, but the like OG ones.
From
This is no cave. From a certain point of view, the Empire Strikes Back.
Oh. Why didn't you tell us about this?
Me?
Yeah, you read that book, didn't you?
No, I want that book. I haven't actually purchased it.
Oh, okay.
I just looked at the citation in the article.
I found
now I just feel sad.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I feel bad.
I mean, I appreciate that they made an evolutionarily sound like organism in that way. I mean, it's not exactly because it lives in the denseness of space.
That's if it lived on the surface of an actual planet.
I mean,
that'd be another story, but it's just like Jay said, it's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
On one hand, speculative evolution has many times based on evidence of previous creatures that we can and cannot confirm did, like something as simple as like small organisms, bugs, like have been able, like in those kind of thought processes have been able to like go out in the ocean, survive on the ocean as one large creature, all interconnected like that kind of thing.
Yeah, but this is fascinating beyond a whole
the vacuum of space.
Well, it's like this thing eats things, and then the things that this thing eats live inside of it in like cities and have their own cultures. Like, presumably, if the Millennium Falcon had been swallowed, they would have discovered this city, or like, you know, many cultures living inside of this thing. Like, it's like that, but on a grander scale of like.
Is that just like, oh god, it's just boring. That's what this is. This is boring.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
You did this to me. You're the one that made it sexual.
I'm the one who made it sexual.
Yes.
It's like it's like Pinocchio living inside of the whale for a while, you know.
Is it that or is it Osmosis Jones?
Yeah, it's basically Osmosis Jones. Yeah.
Terrible movie.
I love that stupid movie so much.
Okay, we're all allowed to have bad movies.
Although I haven't
like
seen
Daredevil
it
too
since I was a child, to be fair. So
it grosses me out. When I was a kid, if a movie grossed me out, I was like, no, don't want it. That's why I didn't appreciate Batman Returns when I was a little kid. I was just like, oh, there's too much gross out. I'd rather watch Batman and Robin. Well,
love Batman and Robin.
I watched a lot of Batman and Robin.
It's one of the best bad movies of all time.
There's a point when I was a little kid, you can't account for taste. When I was like 7 or 8, where I was like, I'll sell my copy of Batman and Batman Returns, but I gotta keep Batman and Robin, and I gotta keep the Riddler one and Two-Face one, the Val Kilmer one. I gotta keep that. The two bad ones, those are the ones I have to keep. Well, we've been on a trip this episode.
Definitely a trip.
FORSHA coming to you soon.
As soon as Kathleen will return my fucking calls.
Well, she blocked her email.
God.
She won't answer her personal phone anymore.
So where are my
either.
emails going?
I didn't want to tell you, buddy. You've had a busy life the last couple of weeks.
How long has it been blocked? I've been sending emails every day.
Hellcourt made things weird.
Hellcourt made things very weird.
This has been Star Wars Every Week Forever. Good night.
Good night. Have I ever mentioned that this show is like fucking therapy for me?
Hey, if you enjoyed us, thought we were funny, like our content, or just really love our suffering and want to hear more of it, we're available all over the place and release episodes every Wednesday around 12 Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Player FM, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and in a unique format over on YouTube that our fans seem to dig. You can join in on the conversation over on Twitter as well, at SWEWF. We're quite active and love to hear from our fans. Sincerely, though. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend with us on this car crash of a ride.